I'll do it in post.
You are now listening to Cryptid Cocktail Party. Creatures, let's meet for a drink. It's a treat. Join us. Join us in the fight. Cryptid Cocktail Party. Cryptid Cocktail Party.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of... No, that's not. I don't like that one. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cryptid Cocktail Party, a show where we have a few drinks, share a few laughs, take a dive into the unknown. I'm your host, Dave, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Sarge. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on? Here I am, when in all my average dick energy.
I don't know why, but for some reason when you said, here I am, I just thought of that. Was that Kelly Clarkson? Like, here I am once again.
Oh my God, I almost forgot about that song.
For some reason, that was the first thing that popped in my head. But Sarge is coming in today with average dick energy, just very low key, very chill. You're just a chill guy.
Like I'm content. I'm bringing it's a good size energy to the show today.
That's a good feeling to have, I feel like. Maybe? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think I'm okay with it.
Honestly, I'd prefer that than low or small.
Yeah,
small
exactly.
Dick energy. Small dick energy is when
I don't want small dick energy. If I did that, I would have to become a conservative. I'd have to buy a lot of red hats. I don't want to do that.
So today we were out running errands. We were at Home Depot because we got an umbrella, like a patio umbrella, which is way too big for my tiny patio in Philadelphia. But we needed to get a base for it because the base we got was too small. And some fucking douchebag in a truck like drove through the parking lot like an asshole. And my only thought was, wow, such a big truck for such a small dick. For some reason, I don't know why. Like, you don't need a truck that big. You live in fucking Philadelphia. Where are you driving?
I know. I see the same shit in Boston, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? As it is, the streets aren't big enough for pedestrians.
No, because it's just like Boston, Philadelphia, all of our streets were made for horses and horse-drawn carriages. Colonial. And then they just paved over it. Like, half the two-way streets should not be. Like, it's insane.
Agreed.
But you don't need a fucking H2 Hummer when you live in the city.
Yeah. It's not the apocalypse, you fucking clown. You're going to brunch.
Dude, but also, like, stop-go traffic is terrible for your gas mileage. I can only imagine what a giant fucking gas-guzzling truck is doing when you have a stop sign every block.
It's ridiculous. It is way too much truck for anybody.
Yeah, well, so I guess that being said, thank you for having average dick energy and not small dick.
Thank you. Here we are having an old man screaming match. I feel like this is the exact kind of conversation that happens in the sauna at my gym.
Yeah, we're basically having the modern day version of Kids on My Lawn, but now it's
exactly. That truck is too goddamn big. Who needs a truck that big?
It's not far off. But fuck it, dude. I feel like that's way more. We should be complaining about that.
We're speaking of practicalities, and that is an impractical vehicle for a city.
Yeah. Wildly.
Yeah.
Considering the amount of tight turns you got to take a shit. I don't know, whatever.
It's ridiculous. You need a 3-point turn to take a left.
Just a couple middle-aged men on a cryptid podcast complaining about trucks. Just what it is. Some days
what I like about this show is that you and I are slowly starting to look more and more like each other.
Hey, it's kind of like when you have a pet, like a dog.
Yeah,
and
it's exactly it.
Kind of morph into it's kind of that vibe. But hey, I fuck with
Are those elderly couples that just at some point start to look like bookends? Like one would look weird without the other one.
Oh fuck. All right.
Good thing we chose to do a second take on this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties. They're not difficult. It's every episode, but it was weird today. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hearing things.
You guys missed an enthralling discussion about penises.
Did they? I feel like, they did. Whether or not they wanted to hear it, I don't know. Let me know if you guys want to hear it. I could edit it out and just send it to you directly. So
some pointed criticism directed towards Steven Seagal's entire catalog.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay.
We'll get there. We can still talk about that.
That's true. Make sure you cut this part out.
All right, Sarge. I got an episode for you today. And we're gonna go back to our roots. We've been covering a lot of cryptid adjacent things, which I mean I guess makes sense for the show. It's Cryptid Cocktail Party. It's a cocktail of all different things, paranormal and weird and shit like that. But we haven't talked about like a straight up cryptid in a long time. And I feel like
it's because we ran out of them.
We didn't run out of them. It's just that like a lot of people don't know this, but like your favorite cryptid, if you're listening to this, probably the amount of information behind it isn't enough to constitute a full episode. And I'm not going to do a bunch of random like 3 cryptid episodes. I don't think that's fun for me. I've done it before. Yeah. It's whatever. But I did find something super crazy fucking weird. And I think you're going to enjoy it. So, Sarge, are you ready to hear a story?
Yes.
Okay. So, today we're going to be talking about the Glimmer Man. Are you familiar?
The movie with Steven Seagal and Damon Wayans?
It's not that. But
okay, good. Because that movie was butt cheeks.
I believe it, but it so this is how the last conversation started, but it came out in 96. And I will repeat this again for everyone listening. To this for the first time is that 96 was like peak Seagal.
Was there ever really a peak for Seagal? I feel like there was Under Siege and then that was it.
No, that movie, I mean, yeah, that movie ruled though. I know you're going to come back with the whole, but it has Tommy Lee Jones in it. That doesn't mean
that's because it had Tommy Lee Jones in it.
Yeah, but he was also in Man of the House. So, I mean.
That's true. Actually, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, he's done so. Well, he also did Batman and Robin, and we can't really forgive that one.
So you're not familiar with this at all. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I've never heard of it. I'm actually really excited.
Okay, so the Glimmer Man is, I don't really know.
Elton John from the 1970s.
No, but
just tons of sequins all the way down, head to toe.
Nothing to do with. You're thinking about this all wrong. You're thinking about it as something that's shining. Don't think about it as something that refracts. Just chill. Just wait.
Got it.
Just calm down.
This is not the crab from Moana.
No, Sarge, you're no longer average dick energy right now. You were coming in hot. All right. I need you to fucking
above average dick energy.
Yes. All right.
I was just trying to shoehorn as many references into the show as possible.
Yeah, we're 8 minutes in. I think most people are going to turn off by now. All right,
except for the Seagal fans.
Yeah. Well, they're probably mad at you now, so they don't. Whatever. No.
Fuck it, you're Russians anyway.
So the Glimmer Man is, I don't know what it. No one knows what this thing is. The best way I can describe it is that it pretty much is like a human shaped glitch in the air, if that makes sense. Like people who see it all described it the same way. A tall, invisible figure that you can't really see. You can kind of only like spot it because the air around it bends and shimmers, almost like looking through heat waves, like when the blacktop gets too hot.
Oh, like in Forgive Me, the Predator.
No.
That's like an accurate reference, I feel.
No.
Oh, God damn it.
So, Sarge, what I want you to do is I want you to think of it basically like the Predator's cloaking device, but in real life.
You son of a bitch. It's my own fault. I should have anticipated that you would put that in the script.
Again, Sarge, you're coming in with above average dick energy. You got to let me get through my sentences. All right? Again, we've done this time and time again, Sarge. You know that I would never string you along without a payoff. All right?
Sorry, I have trust issues.
That sucks. Like what's worse is that it's rarely just standing there. It moves. And it moves very fast. Some would say unnaturally fast, through trees, across fields, even running right up and peering into people's windows. Then there's the combination of the sound that it makes and the lack of when it's near. Most people who have encountered it say that right before, everything goes dead silent. So no birds, no bugs, and a gut feeling that you're being watched. And then some people say they hear a weird clicking noise, like the thing is either trying to communicate and or mess with them. So you you weren't wrong to just immediately think predator, but we'll get into it. Don't look at me like that.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
What are you gonna say?
I'm just enjoying the ride.
What are you gonna say? You have free reign.
No. I mean, like, I've cleared my mind and I'm just accepting the information that you're plugging into it, because now I'm really enthralled. And the thing is, this is even more fucking scary to me, because at least with like Bigfoot or fucking Chupacabra, I know I could see it.
Yeah, no, that's
This guy, I can't see him unless he moves.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's all bad. Nothing in the
bullshit.
story is good. So yeah, nobody knows or even agrees with like what the Glimmer Man is, but the basics are the same across all stories. It's roughly human shaped. It bends the air around it, just like the predator. It's seen mostly in forested or wild areas, and it's scary as fuck. So, you ready to dive into some sightings? You wanna?
Goddamn yes.
Now, what's wild is that there are a lot more of these sightings than you would think there would be. This actually has been going back for like 40 years or so.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
So like before Predator came out.
But I narrowed some of the sightings down to what I would call like the top 3 Glimmer Man moments in no real order. The first one, I mean, I guess I can't say it's in order, but this one's the worst one. I should have probably put it last. I don't know why I didn't. But the first one I got for you takes place in the early 90s in rural Western New York. So 2 boys whose names were never released were exploring a patch of quote-unquote forever wild woods near Rochester, New York. Forever wild means that's like untouched. Like it's like... Okay. It's probably gonna remain that way, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So they were just roaming around these woods when suddenly they were hit with an overwhelming, like gut level, like primal fear. They didn't see anything, but decided, let's dip.
Yeah.
And then they just bolted home. Unfortunately for them, though, this wasn't the end of it. That night, one of the boys woke up being dragged towards an open second-story window by something invisible. In the commotion of it all, the other boy woke up, looked over, and saw a massive human-shaped distortion, like a clear shimmering figure, warping the air around it. It had the boy by both arms and was almost to the window when it must have either like noticed the kid or something, because it suddenly let go and then just disappeared. Now,
you know what happened? Jesse Ventura was holding a Gatling gun in the woods, and he just growled, "I ain't got time to bleed."
Okay, I'm glad you said that line and not a sexual tyrannosaur, because I feel like that would have been way worse to say when you're near 2 kids almost getting abducted.
Though I wouldn't put it past Jesse Ventura to say that in an inappropriate time.
True. It's true. Now, the boys were so rattled that they didn't talk about it for months. When they finally did open up about what happened, they both described the same thing, a predator-like shimmering creature. So what's wild about this case and why it stands out over all the others, because this wasn't just like a sighting or a glimpse. Like this motherfucker, like the Glimmer Man, he fucking like stalked these kids home, made physical contact, and then tried to kidnap this child, which is not great.
Yeah. No, that's problematic.
It's Now, next up, we have in the winter of 2002, 2 men, Joseph and his friend Troy, decided to explore the ruins of a long-abandoned U.S. Air Force radar station outside of Brookfield, Ohio.
Well, that's your first mistake.
Now, the base had been dead for about like 15 years, maybe longer. There was no power, just crumbling buildings and snowy fields surrounded by brush. Inside one of the buildings, they heard something that it was like a series of weird electronic beeps. Tracking the noise down, they found a shoebox-sized metallic device half buried under debris. There was no lights on it, no wires. There was no clear power source, but something about it felt kind of off. Like it was too new, too out of place to be in a building that was dilapidated the way it was. So feeling a bit uneasy about the whole thing, they decided to bail. As they cut across the open snowfield, heading back toward the perimeter fence, they saw fresh footprints forming right behind them. There was no body, no shadow, just deep human-sized prints appearing in the snow, pacing them at about 30 to 40 feet back.
Oh, that's fucked up. I don't know why that bothers me, but it really does.
It's not great. Now, Joseph squinted and caught sight of a shimmering human-shaped distortion, like a heat mirage, but it's winter, so that doesn't make any sense. He raised his rifle, and that's when things got a little out of hand.
Yeah, and he looked steely-eyed and was like, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
So from the brush off to the side, they heard a massive crashing sound, like a truck ripping through the undergrowth. It sounded like something huge barreling through ground level brush, and it was heading straight for them. They didn't wait to see what happened next. They were just like, fuck it, we're going. So they sprinted to a hole in the chain link fence and then dove through it. When they looked back, the shimmer, whatever it was, had stopped cold at the fence line. It wouldn't, or possibly couldn't, cross through. Seconds later, it was gone, vanished into thin air.
Wait, hold on. I feel like you buried the lead here. And I'm not trying to like the fact that it wouldn't go through a hole in the fence.
Well,
like, was it wearing one of those like dog collars?
No.
There's like stuff buried in the ground. He hears a weird noise when he crosses it.
Well, so some people think that maybe the device, the box they found, maybe that's like a range thing.
Oh.
Or maybe like,
Gotcha.
We'll get into it, but maybe it's like a military thing. You know what I mean?
Say no more.
Like, it could be like, maybe it is a perimeter thing. Like, it can't leave the military installation. I fucking don't know, dude.
That's immediately where my mind went, is I'm like, oh, maybe it's wearing one of those collars.
It's like like an invisible fence collar.
It's an attack predator.
All right. So lastly, we got what I dubbed the military spouse encounters. Now, these took place between 2015 and 2017, where a woman living at Holloman Air Force Base had two encounters with a Glimmer Man. The first encounter happened while jogging with her husband one evening when they both spotted a large, semi-transparent figure in the desert between them and the airfield. She described it as tall, human-shaped, and mostly invisible. She said it kind of looked like clear cling wrap that would distort the bushes behind it. Now, the husband, an active duty military man, immediately told her, don't look at it, just keep walking. And that's what they did. They just put their heads down and left the area without acknowledging it any further.
She was later quoted as saying, the jungle, it just came alive and took him.
Is that what you've been doing this whole time? Are you Googling predator quotes?
Maybe.
Oh, God damn it. Motherfucker. All right. I saw you keep looking down and I didn't know what you were doing, but now it all makes sense. So,
okay, sorry, I'm done now.
Now the second incident is way worse and I hate it. That same woman, just wanting to let in the bright desert sun, opened up her bedroom blinds and then saw the same shimmering figure standing right outside her window. Just a tall humanoid distortion hanging out, just fucking peering. Freaked out, she slammed the blinds shut and stayed hidden until she was sure this thing had left. Now, when she later pressed her husband about both incidents, he did what any career military man would do, and he gaslit the shit out of her and denied everything, even though he had just seen it too and acknowledged it during their jog. But given the proximity to a base known for like high-tech weapons and UFO lore, the woman believed that what she might have seen was some sort of like classified military cloaking technology, or maybe even something like out of this world.
You see, I disagree. I feel like any true military man would immediately try to shoot whatever this is.
Well, I mean, they're out for a jog on the base. I don't think they're just carrying around a pistol.
I know a lot of military men who do carry around a pistol just for funsies.
When they're jogging, like just in their fucking trainers.
These guys will find a way to carry a gun.
I mean, that's fair.
No, I mean, in all reality, I don't think he would try to shoot it while he was out for a jog. But if it came on his porch,
he wasn't home.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought what you had said is that she saw it, and then he was immediately like, "Nah, you didn't see it."
That was when they were jogging in the woods. Again, you were too busy looking up quotes to.
No, not for the second story. The second story, I was very present.
Okay, so what is the Glimmer Man and where the fuck did it even come from? Well, it's probably no surprise that the Glimmer Man is a modern phenomenon. Now, visually, we've already established that the blueprint for what people report today can pretty much be traced back to 1987 when the movie Predator dropped, and gave the world the image of an invisible hunter cloaked by a shimmering heat wave-like distortion. Now, nearly every modern Glimmer Man witness describes it the same way, like the Predator.
Yeah.
Same wavy outline, same feeling like the air itself was warped around into a human shape. But here's the twist. A lot of these witnesses hadn't even seen the movie when they had their encounters. They'd only make the connection years later when they finally saw Predator and nearly fucking shit themselves, realizing it matched pretty much exactly what they'd seen.
Exactly. And the other thing is, like, this is such a hard thing to describe that, like, we had to search through our minds to find an analog, you know, in our minds, like, oh yeah, like the Predator.
Yeah.
Maybe people have been seeing this shit forever, but could never put a name to it. Like, how do you describe moving air, right?
Well,
Besides wind.
So the real world sightings started quietly in the mid 1980s to early 90s. You had isolated incidents like there was a woman in South Illinois who saw a quote unquote heat wave angel near the Chicoya Mountains around 1987, or there was another guy in Tennessee in 1993 who spotted a shimmering figure leaping through the trees like it was fucking nothing. Now, back then, as you said, nobody had a name for it. It was just that weird invisible thing.
Yeah.
You know, and almost nobody talked about it out of fear of sounding completely batshit insane. These are what you call like silent reports. They're just basically memories shoved into the back of people's heads because they figured no one would ever believe them.
Exactly. Or maybe they were like, oh, I must be seeing things. Maybe it's a mirage, whatever.
Yeah. It wasn't until like the early 2000s that things started to like snowball. Paranormal forums and weird encounter websites like Phantoms and Monsters and the old Above Top Secret like boards, they started to collect, people started to notice a pattern. Like different people from different parts of the country were telling the same story. Yeah. A transparent figure, bending light, moving unnaturally fast. And as more reports stacked up, people realized like this wasn't just like a one-off thing. So by the 2010s, the term Glimmer Man started, it pretty much stuck. Like that's the only way you could really describe it. Podcasts like Expanded Perspectives, Monsters Among Us, and Belief Hole picked up the scent and started featuring like encounter stories. And then once TikTok, YouTube, and Reddit latched onto it, like the Glimmer Man officially turned into like what it is now. So today, the Glimmer Man isn't just like some fringe weirdo story you have to dig for. Like it's pretty mainstream among paranormal fans.
He's doing the gritty.
But what's wild about it is that, like, from what I can tell, like this legend didn't start like out. It's not like a hoax or a creepypasta. Like this is way before the internet. It's way before like those types of things were around. It built itself naturally, piece by piece, out of hundreds of independent accounts from people who thought they were alone until they weren't, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to dive into some theories about what this thing could be.
Fuck yeah, I do. Me personally, I honestly think that like, and this isn't a theory about what it is, but like, there's always this contingent of people who's like, oh, well, people didn't start seeing these until they saw them in movies. And my counter to that is, or maybe they finally had a way to describe what they were seeing.
Exactly. Like until you find that, I don't know how to try. I'm trying to agree with you, but I don't know how to try to word what I'm trying to say.
I got you. I know we're mind linked.
Yeah.
Sorry that the people who are listening to us can't see that.
Yeah. Like you can only describe something so long until you have the perfect visual representation to. Yeah, you got it. You understand.
Yeah. Well, they like back in the 50s, they used to say like, oh, people didn't really start describing flying saucers until this movie came out and it had flying saucers in them. And it's like, or maybe they would see a disc in the sky and they're like, how do I tell somebody it looked like a plate, a saucer? Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
It's just, I mean, you can call it what you want, but I mean, the best, like, until you have, like, it's the Predator. You there's no other way to describe it until that. Like,
exactly.
All right. So, theories. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, again, nobody knows for sure what this thing is, obviously, but the theories fall into two big camps: the paranormal or military technology. So, some believe, and if this thing is real, I kind of fall into this category, that it's an interdimensional creature. So it's slipping in and out of our world. It's never fully solid. That would explain why it looks like a distortion instead of a body, and why the woods go deathly silent when it shows up. Others think it's a spirit or forest guardian tied to ancient legends from Native American tribes and European folklore. Basically like a natural protector chasing humans at a place that we don't belong.
Okay.
And then you have the cryptid angle, which is a biological creature with natural camouflage. And this is the part that I find really funny, because this is something we joke about all the time. Some Bigfoot theorists have described similar invisibility tricks, claiming that it's blurry, glowing eyes, and
just naturally blurry.
They literally
it's a creature that adapted to be out of focus.
Some Bigfoot theorists believe that he's just naturally blurry. They fucking did it, man.
Oh my God.
They're using the he's just naturally blurry defense. Fuck, dude.
No, we don't have to get better cameras. He's just always blurry. Come on.
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, fuck you guys so hard. That is
so much cope.
As you can see, that's why I named this studio. They actually use the he's just naturally blurry defense, because that is a bananas.
I love it.
Either way, but
I love it.
Yeah, but maybe it's not paranormal at all. Maybe it's just something that like learned to hide better than anything else on Earth. Like maybe it's just like a cousin of Bigfoot that's super cool at,
I mean, like octopi, cuttlefish.
Yeah.
They're pretty incredible at fucking mimicking their background. Chameleons,
yes.
Kind of, but they're not as good as octopus or cuttlefish. So, I mean, you see it in nature all the time. Like you watch a nature documentary about cuttlefish, you'll see them completely change.
Yeah, some octopus look like they just look straight up like rocks and coral and shit like that. It's wild.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be. I don't know. But a lot of sightings of this thing happen near military bases.
Because of course they do.
And I didn't know this, but like there's like real world invisibility technology, kind of.
There is, yeah.
There's hyper stealth, quantum stealth cloaks, like they're patented.
Yeah, there's I saw it on YouTube. There's actually some like kind of cool videos of people using these cloaks that sort of, I forget how it works, but it kind of just projects what's behind them onto the cloak in front, so that it looks like they're not there. But like it's kind of close to what you're describing in terms of like, shimmering air almost, because it moves.
Kinda. So like the theory that the Glimmer Man is secret technology, that's actually been gaining more traction obviously like in the 2000s, obviously not like in the 80s. But it could be soldiers testing cloaking suits, or maybe even like weird drones with light bending armor, or something nastier that we're not supposed to know about yet. And considering places like Holloman and White Sands, they're like basically playgrounds for secret projects. Like this one isn't like crazy far-fetched. The only problem is that some of the Glimmer Man's behavior, like sprinting through treetops or smashing into walls of brush, seems way beyond like the limits of like what a human being could do. So
that's because you have never gotten drunk with a bunch of soldiers before.
This is true.
Because everything you described are things I've actually witnessed.
So, but like even with like special tech, like some sightings, it could explain some, but not all of the sightings. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah. And I feel like back in the day, like if this was like in the early 2000s, like that would require a lot of power. And I feel like you wouldn't be able to have batteries that would be small enough to make you agile. You know what I mean?
True. But maybe like the sightings in like the later 2020s, 2010s, we did then, but maybe like the one in 2002 when they were at the military base, the abandoned one, maybe that fucking box was like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Could be.
Yeah. It just, the only thing that would make me shy away from the military idea, and actually I'm usually the one who like immediately shuts down the military angle because I know how incompetent the military is.
Yeah.
But
R&D at the military has got to be fucking legit.
it is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It is pretty crazy. I got a buddy who works at the proving grounds not the proving grounds, Natick Labs.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, you know, he's obviously not giving me like top secret information, but he says, you know, there's a lot of cool shit that they have there. And I'm not opposed to this at all, because I know that the military has been working on this kind of advanced camouflage technique for a long time. So yeah, I mean, like the only reason that I would say like maybe not is just because like usually when the military tests something, there's like a lot of people there to watch the test. So like for there to just be one guy and they didn't happen to see anybody else, like the only thing I could think of was like, okay, maybe there were cameras that they were watching it on. But I feel like if you were going to test something this top secret and high tech, you're not going to be in like a warehouse somewhere.
True. And also
you're going to be like,
you'd probably have a perimeter set up where people couldn't just walk in.
Yeah. Like the basement of the Pentagon or something, you know, in like Aberdeen Proving Grounds. Like you're not going to be like, let's go to the old candy factory.
Yeah, no one's just jogging through your high-tech military.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But then again, I also know special forces are just fucking crazy. So I also wouldn't put it past the special forces guy just to steal it and go fuck around with it.
I mean, that also tracks too.
Like those dudes are nuts.
Yeah, but I mean, pretty much the bottom line here is that it could be cryptids, could be aliens, could be spirits, could be government. It could be literally all of the above. Like, who the fuck knows? Now, also, some have speculated that these creatures could explain mysterious disappearances in national parks, like the cases documented in the missing 411 phenomena. But that's a whole different rabbit hole theory that I'm not going to dive into. There are some stories, it's fucking wild, but that's the missing 411. I'll leave that to Nick and his show because he does all that stuff. Okay. But there you have it, Sarge. That is the Glimmer Man. That's all I got for you today.
I love it.
What are we thinking? How are we feeling?
I honestly, the military thing somehow makes it a little bit more believable for me, because I would not put it past like a couple of specialists in the army to be like, hey, put on the camo suit and then play the Predator noise.
I mean, that's the only one that tracks to me. Now,
Exactly.
I mean, there were like, I know like Skinwalker Ranch, which I fucking hate so much. I hate Skinwalker Ranch. But
so stupid.
They have, there are, before the fucking billionaire, whoever that was, bought it and made it into the reality show it is now. Yeah. There were like this like type of shit happened where there was like a predator type thing. And they've had other instances where like on thermal cameras, they see a body, there's nothing there kind of thing.
Yes. Yes, I do remember hearing about that.
I mean,
I like it. I mean, I think not Skinwalker Ranch. I think that's nonsense too.
Yeah, it's
but
awful.
I like this theory, and it's actually one that I'm surprisingly open to. Normally, I'm the skeptic who's like, no, impossible. There's no way you can make space age Camelot. But in this situation, I actually kind of. I'm not against this idea. I kind of think it's definitely plausible.
It's definitely plausible that it could be military.
And I hope it's an interdimensional being, honestly.
I honestly,
because that's so fucking cool.
I honestly, that's my theory. That's the one I want to go with. I don't think that it's Bigfoot who's just naturally blurry. I think you're a bunch of fucking pieces of shit if you think that. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
I actually had this conversation in the car with my sons actually today. We're driving to Target, and my oldest boy, he didn't know what he was getting himself into, but he was like, man, I just wish that like we could get definitive proof that there was life on other planets. And I was like, all right, buckle up, boys. And I just went down a list of like crazy shit.
And they were like, Dad, are you okay? Do we need to call someone? We need to call the VA.
I think my 9-year-old was ready to jump out of the car. Like he was just done.
Yeah. Well,
the 13-year-old was like a little bit more. He was like, "Oh, that's right. Dad's a war vet. It's okay, Dad.
Dad's crazy, and he needs
a little bit.
It's fine. All right, yeah, shorter episode today. I didn't really have much. I just thought this was a fun story I wanted to tell, which is how most of the stories I want to tell go. But you good with this one? This one's good. You fine with this?
I love it.
I
love it. I want more. If you have seen a Glimmer Man, reach out.
Yeah, please. I want to know what the fuck.
I want to know your story.
I just want to know what the fuck. That's
Where
all.
were you? What were you doing? Did you smell it? Does it have glowing blood?
But more importantly, what the fuck? like, come on. All right, man. Before we sign off, I just want to say thank you everyone for listening. We charted twice recently for some fucking reason. This episode probably won't because people are gonna listen to it and be like, they're a bunch of fucking ding dongs. But yeah, we got to 80 something in Ireland and like 122 in Sweden, which is crazy. So if you're in Ireland or Sweden, thank you so much for listening. You guys tell all your friends, keep it going.
Yeah. Keep listening. Call your cousins here in America. Tell them to get their shit together.
Yeah. And, if you like what you hear, just leave us a rating and review. That'd be fucking awesome. I'd really appreciate it. Helps the show go on. You can do it on Apple. You can do it on Spotify. You can do it on Pocket Cast. There's a bunch of anywhere you can. Just do it. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Sarge, you got anything you want to plug before we sign off?
Yeah, we still got the coloring book going on. It's sargessupernormal.com. I promise one day I'll stop plugging this thing, but it's still relevant, unfortunately. Probably more so now than ever. So get the coloring book. It's some political humor. It was funny until recently. Yeah. And find us on social media. I'm at Sarge the Destroyer. Just Google it. I'm the only moron who picked that name. And
that's all you gotta say.
I was gonna say Google Google the show. We pop up everywhere.
That's true. But if you want, you can just follow us on Instagram at Cryptid Cocktail. Follow us on TikTok, Cryptid Cocktail Party. And that's all I gotta say. Sarge, do you want to say goodbye and I love you to the audience?
Goodbye, and I love you.